We trying to get some information on Juror 25. So we're going to go with the Tisha Tales. What is going on with my computers today, man? Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. This is a long one right here. Y'all check. Thumbs up. Give a thumbs up. Let's check this bad boy.
Huge. The jury has signaled that Diddy is probably guilty of the predicate with the Rico. Okay, there we go. I am repeating. The jury has signaled that Diddy is probably guilty of the Rico charge with Diddy. You guys, what am I talking about? All right, first of all, I'm gonna have to take y'all on this magic journey because my microphone's not working, but who cares? You guys, I was in court today. Okay, I'm back. You guys, I was in court today, okay? I stayed for the whole day. I know what it was saying. Nothing was gonna happen in the courtroom. It was a waste of time, but everybody was wrong because it was not a waste of time because the jury has signaled that Diddy is probably gonna be found guilty on the distribution charge, the rug charges. I know it's a lot, but it's good. And let me tell you what happened, okay, right? So we're sitting around, and all of a sudden, Mark Agnifilio comes rushing into the courtroom. Look. Oh, he's getting my shoes off. He comes rushing into the courtroom, okay? He has a look of concern. Now, Mark always looks like he's like a little bit flabbergasted when he comes walking in. So I didn't think it was that big a deal, but I was still being nosy, okay? Now, mind you, we've been sitting in the courtroom with nothing. That note didn't come back for the juror, so I guess Juror 25 figured it out. Spoiler alert, I also found out that the four-person juror number 5 is not who people think it is. It is not, in fact, even a woman. Juror number 5 is the number they have is the number they had during the voir dire, not their numbers of their seating chart, okay? Juror number 5 is not a woman at all. He is actually a man. But I guess you found that out by he. But who cares about that? Because let me get in, hold on, y'all. Where's my, okay. Who cares about that? Because we need to talk about the way they already got Diddy on one of the Rico charges and the defense was melting down. Okay, right? So Mark comes rushing into the courtroom, okay? Then they got Driscoll. Driscoll is this lawyer where his mind, he knows he knows all the law like canon, okay? Every time he opens his mouth, I'm like, oh my God, because he's going to be right. He's so annoying because he knows all the details, and guess what? He's always right, okay? Driscoll comes in, but Driscoll looks worried. Xavier comes in. All of the lawyers are like looking around, okay? They're all huddling. They're all looking through stuff, blah, 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 blah. Diddy comes out the back, okay? And there was one time where he got bought out the back and all you heard was like a toilet flushing, and then he came out like wiping his hands. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I don't want to know. God. Oddly enough, this is after he watched the freak off tape. I noticed that every time Diddy watches freak off tapes, this is in the past, his trips to the bathroom kept increasing. It was odd, but it doesn't matter, okay? So,
Don't say that. Don't say it. That means he got a serious problem. He see the freak off tapes. I gotta go to the bathroom. Okay, I'm back. He come back.
Diddy comes and he sits down, right? And then they bring the note that the jury wrote, and it's written on a piece of paper. Nobody knows what's on the note, okay? So they're passing the note around. When Diddy's team saw the note, it was just like, I felt like it was that Nicki Minaj video where it's like, they were just going like crazy. They were in powwows. It went from, they were in straight up powwows. First of all, it was Esteban, Mark Agnifilio, Xavier, and Brian. They were huddled. Then Westmoreland, Diddy, and Shapiro were over Diddy, right? They were over Diddy, talking to him. Diddy was sitting there barking orders at everybody. Then it was Westmoreland and Brian were talking, okay? Mark came over and was talking to Diddy. Brian still, oddly enough, was like, I'm spinning like a ballerina. He was not bothered at all. He was not bothered at all. 1 second.
Take your time.
Brian still wasn't bothered at all. He was just sipping from his pink water bottle. Probably his wife, girlfriend, daughter, granddaughter, favorite niece gave it to him. It looks like it had sentimental value. He was just sipping from his pink water bottle, just like, I'm spinning like a ballerina, okay? Then Driscoll, Xavier, and Shapiro all got together and they were scrolling on the laptop. All of a sudden, everybody was looking on their phones. Everybody was looking at the laptops. Everybody was like streamlining in, going in and out. They looked like they were all looking for an extra, like they looked like they were all looking for the answer, the Holy Grail. Now, I knew at this point, especially if Driscoll's out there on the ones and twos, you guys are literally looking for case law. You're looking for case law for something to support. And still didn't know what they were going. However, on the defense side, it was like, see ya. It was on the defense side. It was like, right? Mind you, you go over and look at the prosecution's table. This one I knew they had Diddy. You looked at the prosecution's table, and it really was, listen, Comey was like, They were all chilling. They were all chillax. They were all just sitting there, literally. I'm spinning like my ballerina. Diddy was barking something at them like, Now, mind you, when I say barking, he's not yelling. However, you see from his body language, he's like, right, literally looking at screens. They're all looking worried. They don't know what to do. They're doing this, they're doing that. And I was like, what is going on? It was tea. It was high drama. I said, oh my God, I'm so glad I stayed, because I was going to come downstairs and film some voiceovers, but I'm glad I did the right thing and actually stayed. See, hard work always pays off. Now get this, right? Now here's what happened. After a while, and when I say a while, all this happened over like 15 minutes. Diddy was just sitting there, straight, looking pissed. That type of pissed when you are so mad, because I get that like that sometimes. When I'm so mad, I know that if I say something, I'm gonna act a fool, literally flip over the Monopoly board. You know how there's nothing you can do except for look straight and ignore anyone, because if you engage, you are gonna lose your shit. Yeah, well then we found out what was going on. You guys, they got Diddy on those they have Diddy on the drug distribution charge. They have him on the drug distribution charge, and it is a Rico. Listen to this. So Judge Aaron came out, all rise, you know, got up, popped up, right? I got my little Hillary Banks outfit on, right? So I popped up, and I'm like, okay, like, you know, we all have to stand for the judge. And he said the jury sent out 2 letters, okay? And he read the letter, okay? He says this deals with page 37 of the jury instructions. As a matter of fact, let me pull these up because I have the jury instructions. Hold on really quick. I just have to make a quick phone call. Give me 1 second, okay? Sorry, guys. 1 second. One second.
They
Oh, you guys like the outfit? Yes. I'm spinning like... Here we go. This is the outfit. Of course, nobody is answering my phone. On. Hold on, page 14. I'm on my phone. Page 41, 36.
I should play my song right there. Y'all want to hear my song? Oh my gracious. We live while we doing this, y'all, so. 3. A criminal violation is, it says, in addition to alleging the violation of the substances offenses of transportation to engage in no. The next category of criminal violation is, hey, what's up, guys? You too. The next category of criminal violation is possession with intent to distribute or distribution of narcotics and controlled substances, including coca, oxidin, asmarabil, meth, gamma, I don't know. Basically, Diddy had a whole pharmacy. He was Breaking Bad, right? There was there's like 8 things. Breaking Bad.
The elements of distribution to possess with the intent to distribute a controlled substance are, here we go. This is on page 37. The word distribution means actual, constructive, or attempted transfer. To distribute simply means to deliver or pass to, or to hand over something to another person, or to cause it to be delivered, passed on, or handed over to another. Distribution does not require a sale. That's what it said. That's what I was waiting on. I was waiting on the selling of it.
now you're talking about money being exchanged, but
person or the cause
money
to
don't
be
ha-
delivered, passed on, or handed over to another. Distribution does not require a sale. That's what it said. So the juror sent out a note to the judge and the defense and prosecution. And here's what they said, and this is how you know. They said, if the person wants or asks for the drugs and another person, hey, how are you? And another person gives it to them, is a still distribution. Now listen, I've watched Narcos, I've watched Breaking Bad, I've watched The Wire, right? I would say all seasons, but no, that would be a lie, I have not, right? But I've watched The Wire, my dad and brothers were watching it, and I already knew the answer to that is yes, right? Yes, I literally put my notes, yes, lol, it's still distribution. And then also the jury said, listen, we're ending at 5. You guys, they have Diddy on the distribution charges, which is one of the Rico. They only need another act for him to be guilty of bribery, arson, sex trafficking, the prostitution, and they have him on the Rico, y'all. And that's before you even get into the prostitution across state lines. There was sex trafficking with moving prostitutes across state lines. How do you know that? Because they were asking that, well, what if the person wanted to get the drugs? Is that still distribution? Yes, it is. So the fact that it's yes lets me know that
Diddy going to jail, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, if what she's saying, I kept looking for the other, because that across state line, that's a wrap. That part is a wrap.
that they have them. You guys, we got the first win. It looks like the jury has just signaled that Diddy is about to be found guilty of drug distribution under the law. Now, when you copy that into Juror 25, remember they said that Juror 25 was disregarding the judge's instructions. Why? Because he was going off of, well, I don't know what he was doing, but it looked like when you defy the judge's order says to put aside your personal feelings and go. Is it about the star? They said put aside your personal feelings and go by the letter of the law. It does not matter whether you think something is criminal or not. Look to the jury instructions, and the jury instructions will tell you if this behavior is criminal. So what do we have? We have somebody that gave drugs to people. They're asking, well, what if the person asks for it? Is that still guilty for distribution under Rico? Okay, and he did this multiple times. Spoiler alert for everybody saying, I don't see the crime. If you are giving drugs to people, whether you're friends or not, you need to stop because it's 100% illegal. And if the feds find out, you might be facing a Rico too. Don't say I didn't give you any favors or tell you anything. But when you combine that with this juror being like, well, I don't really feel like this is really, I don't know what the juror was saying, but if you combine it with Juror 25, them saying they refuse to follow the letter of the law, and the next thing you do is get a letter, a note to the judge saying, well, what if they ask for it? Is that still distribution? Yes. So here's the funny thing, right? So then, right? So they were like, okay, so what the judge is they send answers back to the jury. They said they give the answer tomorrow, but today by 6 p.m., which is in a few minutes, the defense has to give what they want those instructions to say, or answer to the question. Why? Because this could make or break. Now listen, the whole time the prosecution is like, sex to be you, and they were literally just so like, I'm spinning like a ballerina. Why Diddy's energy is like all over the place, right?
Diddy, let me stop for a second. Y'all know Diddy was actually getting prescription drugs from a lot of places under other people's names. Roger Bonds has said that. He picked up different things. So once he got the drugs in his hand, he was giving them to people. If they took them or not, he was giving. That's distribution, man.
And they were literally just so like, I'm spinning like a ballerina. Why Diddy's energy is like all over the place, right? So I was just like, oh my God, they got him. So then the defense was like, well, Your Honor, we'd like more time to think about what we want the answer to be. And he was like, all right, like, cool. Like, can you get it by 6? And they're like, yeah, Your Honor, I guess I'll do that. So then the prosecution, you know, Maureen Comey stood up and she did the Comey lean. And you know, every time she hits that mic and leans over to her left, you know she's in her bag. Maureen stood up and she did the Comey lean. And she was like, Your Honor, I understand what you're doing with the jury instruction, but we would suggest that what would be the most helpful and accurate thing to do. Because the judge was like, listen, I think I'm going to direct them back to page 37, lines 1 through 3. And that's what I just read you. Let me read it again in case you guys didn't see the semblance. I'll go through it really quick. The judge said, listen, I'm going to literally send you back. I'm going to redirect them to go read over page 37, lines 1 through 3. What does that mean? Line 1, the word distribution means actual, constructive, or attempted transfer. To distribute simply means to deliver, to pass over, or to hand over something to another person, or to cause it to be delivered, passed on, or handed over to another. Distribution does not require sale. Now, Diddy distributed drugs to all his girlfriends and probably the sex workers. His employees distributed the drugs to him. And the drug dealers distributed the drugs to, well, actually sold the drugs, but it's another form of distribution to Diddy's team. Diddy's team distributed it to Diddy. Diddy distributed it to his quote-unquote girlfriends or sex trafficking victims and maybe the sex workers. I don't know if the sex workers partook, but it doesn't matter. He probably tried to get them. They said, Your Honor, yes, we do think that they should be referred to back to page 37, lines to 3. This is what I just read you guys. But Maureen Comey was like, but I feel like by them asking that question, that they are confused. And they are confused about the law. So I think what would be most helpful and most accurate is when you send that jury instruction back to their question, if a person wants or asks for rugs and another person gives it to them, is it still distribution? She said, I think what would be most helpful and most accurate is before you refer them to page 37, answer the question and say, yes, it is. And please refer to page 37, lines 1 through 3 for the law. Y'all, when I say Diddy was sitting there looking stuck, his team looked like a bomb had just been dropped on him. And on top of that, okay? And on top of that, with the most helpful and the most direct, it looked like a bomb had just been dropped on him, okay? You have all that stuff. You have the thing. You're doing the jury charges. And on top of that, with the 2 letters, okay, that they did combined with 25 saying that they don't really think, like, you know, they won't apply the law. And now they're asking for the judge to clarify what the law is. And Maureen Comey is saying the law is yes. For all these people on the Diddy side, for all these people saying, I don't see it. It's not, the charges seem weak. Can I say something? If the charge is whether, oh my God, Francine Lavea, thank you so much. 15 for lunch. We're good? 5 minutes? Oh, no problem. Here, I'll move over now. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna move I'll move over here into this corner. Hold on, I just have to move into the corner. Okay, so.
She's always so happy, man. It's like.
Oh, okay. So I'm being moved because, you know, I'm like the last person at the courthouse because I have to give it to y'all raw. So hold on, y'all. Yes. So this side or inside, or does it matter?
And the police are outside? Cool. The police out there is pretty cool, man. They laid back. They not.
Okay, I'm good here.
Unless
okay,
you
guys.
Start and
so they're moving the barricades. So basically
something.
telling me you don't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
okay, right.
Yeah.
So, right. So the kids are not in the court today. Okay. So let me just say this, right? Hey. So listen, here's what we got to do, okay? And y'all need to listen to this. And this is very, very important, all right? This is a happy day for all. Hey, what's up? Hi. Okay, for all the people saying that the evidence seems light. You don't need heavy light. You don't need to be Narcos season 1 through 10. All you need to do is break the law. Again, people are saying, oh, who cares that he passed this? Are we in La La Land? I know it's a lifestyle, but it's an illegal lifestyle. If you give drugs to someone, it is an illegal lifestyle. Point blank. You have broken the law. You guys, the prosecution was chilling. They were beyond happy. They were literally sitting there, and Maureen Comey could have been like, she would have been. When I say they were so smug, as they should, and Diddy's team looked like everything and their whole world had just fallen apart. And they were still looking for case law, looking for something, zooming in, trying to see if they could find a legal out. But at the end of the day, the law is the law is the law. And it doesn't matter how many people don't think that the law is heavy enough. It doesn't matter how much they don't think it was real Rico, real etc. That's why you're not a federal judge, and that's why you're never going to be a federal prosecutor, because y'all don't even know half the stuff that you guys are putting up is illegal. Now listen, right? Here's the funny thing. Hey, Brian.
I'll tell you later.
Okay. Hey.
Here. Hi, everybody. I'm Brian Andrews from TMZ, popping in on the fabulous Tisa Tells telecast here outside the New York courthouse. She's wonderful, she's amazing, and she makes covering this case fun. So,
thank you,
I'll talk
Brian.
to you later. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay, no problem. Listen, that is TMZ. Every time I see TMZ, Brian is one of the biggest producers on TMZ. Every time I see him come up, I'm like, what's the tea? What's scoop? Usually he saves the exclusive for TMZ, but we're all in the courtyard. This is our little court family, okay? I did not leave my purse. Don't worry, y'all. I had somebody get it. I didn't leave my purse. Don't worry. I didn't leave my purse. Juror 25 is still in this. Okay, but let's go into what this actually means for Diddy, okay? First of all, it means he is cooked. They got this. They got him. And judging by their faces, they know that they actually got him. Now, when you look into the other stuff about Juror 25, that he could not follow, well, the other jury member said that he couldn't follow the judge's instructions, right? They asked for more info on the nature of the issue. Clearly, it got resolved. But again, the fact that the question came out that if they asked for it, is it really distribution? And the prosecution said the answer is yes. It is 100% distribution. They got him.
Yes.
You listen, the government did not put anything in the record. They don't have any info about what's happening with the jury's deliberations. However, we have to start making inferences. We have to look at what the jury signals. And what the jury signaled is, at least on one predicate act, when it comes to Rico, it looks like Diddy, the jury has found that Diddy did in fact commit distribution. Oh, happy day, oh, happy. So we got one. You only need two predicate acts for Rico. What should be the second predicate act? You want bribery? You want kidnapping? You want moving prostitutes across state lines for the intent of sex trafficking? What do you want for the Rico act?
I forgot all about the kidnapping, because they got some real good proof. He didn't kidnap and keep her for a long period of time, but he did hold her against her will. Yeah.
You want obstruction of justice? Tell me what you want, because listen, the prosecution, Maureen Comey and them is like literally 100,000, lining up the $100 bills. Like, what you want? 100,000 bills. What do you want, y'all? This is very bad for Diddy. And it lets me know that Mark Agnifilo and his twisting and pirouetting and his comedy show, to quote Bernard from Burden of Proof, like she said, Bernarda from Burden of Proof, the comedy show that Diddy's lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, actually performed was not effective, because at the end of the day, you can do all the lights, cameras, action, you can do the and scene, you can do all that, but at the end of the day, the law is the law is the law. And that jury verdict sheet, they are taking all the actions he's been accused of, and they are applying it, and they are actually making law. It is what it is. You guys, go on don't go harass anyone. But this is a great, listen, I have a feeling that a lot of these stupid Diddy supporting pages, and when I call them stupid, I'm not calling them stupid for supporting Diddy. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I call them stupid Because as much as they say, you were supporting feelings, you are supporting vibes, but you're not actually supporting the facts. Keep your opinion. Think whatever you want, but back it up with facts. Don't sit there and say everybody's delusional. I think, I don't see. But you refuse to bring in one fact. You refuse to bring in one piece of evidence. You refuse to do anything. You're just going off of what you feel, what you know, what you hope, what you pray for what you wish. Baby, the best and easiest thing to do is to know reality. And my dad always told me that. That's the easiest way to get ahead in life. Recognize reality, not what you hope it to be, not what you wish it to be, not what you think it should be, not anything except for what it is. That does not mean that reality cannot change.
Take yourself out the
equation. If you want to make a change in your life and you want to actually do something, you must acknowledge where reality is so you can start to make it work in your favor. These Diddy supporters and even Diddy's team, I mean, I understand why they did it. By keeping him in La La Land, they probably got 20, 30 million from him. But my whole point is by keeping Diddy in La La Land, they probably, again, did they not get 20? Did they not get 30? Did they not get how many million from him? But my whole issue is with that, right? My whole issue is with that. Diddy's supporters don't acknowledge reality. I don't care if you don't think it's not bribery. It is under the law. I don't care if you don't think that passing out a bunch of Molly to your friends, your freaks, whatever you want to call them, right? That's not illegal. It's 100% illegal. Oh, by the way, really quick, did y'all hear that story? I talked about it in last live, but I want to talk about it here. You know, after Mark Agnifilo was telling everybody that Diddy was a swinger's lifestyle, the National Swinger Associations, all 4 of them in America, have come out and said that Diddy's lifestyle was an abomination and he was not in a swinger's lifestyle, and how dare they associate him with a swinging lifestyle.
Oh my God.
Baby, you can't make this up. Hold on. I have to read this one more time. I'll make a standalone video about it too. But
That's
I really
crazy.
have to get into hold on. I really have to get into
Damn, Diddy. Even the real swingers don't. Nah, dog, that ain't what we do. Everything we do, everybody agrees. We don't take nobody's cell phone. God damn. They ain't gotta sign no NDA or elemental P or QRS. They ain't gotta sign no 3-letter alphabets. Damn. They don't even want you. That's just like when the dude told me it's baby oil in Costco. Costco, look here, we don't even sell baby oil. These people are listening. They are listening and they are letting y'all know we ain't down with you, cousin.
The swinging lifestyle. This was very funny. Just let me cook with this, okay? Where are we at for the swinging lifestyle?
About?
Hold on, y'all.
What are you talking
I have
about?
it right here. No, that's not it. Hold on. That's not it. Where is it at?
I don't know what the heck about to happen,
Where are we
man.
at? Hold on.
So if he found guilty, they going.
So there was here we go.
They going to appeal. They got that
swinging,
part.
I didn't even know that there are official swinging national organizations, but it was good, right? Listen, here it is. The rapper's legal team first offered a window into his defense during a court hearing on April 25th, arguing that Combs isn't guilty of federal sex crime because in his mind, he's engaging in sexual swinging. But Combs' alleged actions had nothing to do with the swinger lifestyle, said Brett Chamberlain, executive director of Open, a nonprofit working to expand acceptance for families and non-monogamous relationships. Using misogyny and swinging as a legal defense to explain away alleged harmful behavior mischaracterizes what these relationship structures are about and potentially harms our community by reinforcing harmful stereotypes. Oh, baby. It is not over. Listen, they said at the center of this lifestyle, at the center of the swinging lifestyle is informed, revocable consent, said Susan Wright, a spokesperson for the National Coalition of Sexual Freedom and Advocacy Organization for Consensual Non-Monogamy Communities. This requires lengthy conversations to set safe boundaries and ensure all parties enthusiastically agree. They went on to say, non-monogamous people joke that they spend more time talking about having sex than having it. These relationships prioritize communication, mutual agreement, and respect for everyone involved. They said the conversations happen often before and throughout activities, Chamberlain said. Non-monogamous advocacy organizations like Open educate communities on what consent should look like, freely given, without pressure or coercion, revocable at any point in time, informed about STDs and substances, and enthusiastic and specific. They said the key distinction of ethical non-monogamy is that these conversations happen proactively and deliberately rather than assuming everyone shares the same expectation. Anything other than that is a heck yes or no. Now, Kylie George, 34, was infuriated. Kylie George, 34 years old, was infuriated to learn that Diddy's defense team claims, anyway, it doesn't matter. The whole point of the matter is, right? And this is what we have to see. The whole point of the matter is that Diddy tried to say that abusing women, raping women, forcing rugs on women, beating women. Diddy's team from Diddy tried to actually bring in the swinging. Who would have thought we'd be defending the swinging lifestyle? Would be no offense if you're into that. I just know that I will not be interviewing my replacement. I will not be helping my current man interview my replacement, right? But the whole point of the matter is, right? Hold on really quick, y'all. Hold on.
Oh my God, this is juicy.
The whole point of the matter is, right? The whole point of the matter is that we had to literally, hold on really quick, y'all.
You mean to tell me who would have ever thought that we would be actually defending the swinger lifestyle? They was like, now hold up, god dang it. Now, Diddy ain't like us. We over here, we doing our thing. Diddy doing something completely different. That ain't no swinger. That's he abusing people and going way overboard. All right, Tisha, take it from here. I'm running out of words, girl. Y'all doing all right? This a juice. That's juicy. Tisa.
Okay, can you guys hear me now? Wait, hold on.
Tisa.
Hold on, my guy. I have an idea.
Tails, how about that?
Okay, can you hear me better now? Can you guys hear me better now? Oh, you can hear me better now? Okay, great. Okay, all right. Wait, can you hear me? Put a 1 if you can hear me better, and put a 2 if you can hear me the same. Okay, so here's the thing, right? At the end, okay, you guys can hear me better. Okay, perfect. Okay, right? Okay, so the whole point of the matter is, and this is my whole point, Diddy's team tried to pass off his depravity as swinging, as if people that swing have nothing better to do than engage in slavery, and that is not what happened at all. So where are we all with what happens with, right? Where are we at? What happened with Diddy? Okay, hold on, move over here. There is so much like commotion in this courtyard. There's like a million people talking. There's a million people this. Somebody started speaking Spanish. It was just like too much. And you know me, I'm just, I can deal with a lot. And I was like, whatever. Oh, do you mind thing? Okay, right? So where are we at? Okay, where are we at? You guys hear me the same or better? It's supposed to be these mics. You're supposed to hear me better. No? It's just the same? Okay, right? Okay, so in any case, thank you.
Win.
So
it's
in any case, right?
Let's win.
So you know what's bad? If the national swinging people will not even let Diddy get a thing in. They literally disassociated themselves with that mofo. They literally disassociated themselves, okay? Thank you. Thank you, sweetie. So they literally disassociated themselves with Diddy. How bad is it that the swingers had to come in and said, first of all, we're a legitimate lifestyle. Second of all, Diddy, keep that mess to yourself. We don't got nothing to do with it. Mark Agnifilio really messed up with that, and I don't even understand why. But I mean, I understand why. When you're dealing with rotten zucchini, you can't make lemonade. When you're dealing with rotten zucchini, you can't do anything. Okay, so what else happened in court? All right. A few other things happened. The swingers came out and said no to Diddy. Diddy is 100 catching that drug predicate offense. They literally ask, does it matter if the person consumed it? If the person asked for it, is it still distribution? To which Maureen Comey said, hell yes, it's still distribution. Juror 25 was acting up, and now it makes me think that Juror 25 100%, right? It makes me think that Juror 25 100% was the one that was saying, okay, fine, maybe it's distribution, but if they asked for it, maybe it wasn't. Again, I'm not in the jury room. I'm not saying Juror 25 said it, but when you look at the earlier notes, it kind of signals, again, you guys, we are on verdict watch, and nothing is going to be known until the jury comes out. You need 2 predicate acts that the jury unanimously has to agree upon. People thought that drug charge was weak, but it looks like the jury just found out that in the eyes of the law, what Diddy was doing was 100% is, and will always remain illegal. Illegal. Oh, hold on. Let me get to these questions really quick. Let me get to the questions. Oh, really quick. Eve loves God. Thank you so much for joining the family. Rich Guy interviews. What's up? Thank you. Mary from Virginia. Mary in Virginia, USA, right? Thank you so much for the super chat. Erica Jameson said, thank you for all your hard work and time. D Princess says, Comey needs to fight for that. Yes, before the jury instruction, it's imperative. The judge needs to stop overcomplicating it. Fight, Comey. Well, first of all, D, let me say this. Judge Aaron actually likes brevity and simplicity, so I think he's going to take that, but Comey is already fighting for it. Comey literally jumped up and did the lean and said, oh no, Your Honor, we're going to put a yes in front of there. Comey is 100% going to fight. Cameron Amos, welcome to the family. The Amazing Spider-Man said, careful with Jack Frost. He's always... Who? Who's Jack Frost? Okay, thanks, Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know who Jack Frost is. Also, SP said, preach beautiful. Oh, thank you. A lot of people have thought this behavior is normal or about to get a rude awakening. Plenty of his supporters do the same. Exactly. Melissa Lopez said, oh, happy day. Joy Angel said, thank you, Tisa, for keeping us up to date. We appreciate you and are so proud for all your success. Marie Boneman, thank you so much for the super chat. Dylan Deckert, thank you so much for the super chat. Cameron Amos, thank you for the super chat. Janae Humphrey said, can you guys like this live? If you're watching, please. Love you, Tisa. Oh my God. You said my outfit is darling fab. Thank you. Diddy is getting Rico for sure. Also, Abraham Robert said, oh, thank you. I bet the makeup artists be so excited they get to work with you. Don't bring up makeup artists. We've been traumatized. Latoya Shambliss said, hey, Tisa, my color. Oh, thank you. Also, I'm willing to wait it out, but I really do hope we get a verdict by Wednesday. I think that'd be something very, very special. I hope you're right. Speak it into existence. Nest Dog said, it's pissing me off that Cassie keeps catching heat. She's just one of 34 witnesses. I personally believe she's the reason Puffy is done. First of all, Ness, I agree with you. I believe she is 100% the reason that Diddy is done. And the thing is, Cassie's touching heat because she had the balls to do what all these Diddy Glazers don't. And that is speaking truth to power. Also, Martinez, cool girl. Oh my God, thank you for the generous super chat. Okay, so there's a few other things I want to go over, and then I'll go over on a live chat later on today from the comfort of my own home, right? Okay, so hold on. So we also have... Okay, so where are we at, right? Listen, let me just tell y'all, oh my gosh, you guys, thank you. Jeanette Aguar, thank you so much for the super chat. I think you're amazing too. Okay, so listen, let me just sum this up for everybody that's just joined.
Sum it up.
One, it's about to rain. One, Diddy's done. The jury has signaled that they likely got him on the RICO charge for sex trafficking. They wanted to know that under distribution, would Diddy still be guilty if the people he gave the drugs to asked for them? I saw season 1 of Narco, and the answer is in fact yes. I saw some of The Wire, and the answer actually is yes. Okay. Maureen Comey actually wants the jury to be reminded of that. On top of that, okay, juror number 25, the jury sent a note about juror 25 after only 2 hours of deliberation saying what is going on. He's not following the judge's directions. What do you want to do? However, it looks like that has been resolved, and it looked like there might have been a link between him not following the judge's directions and this. This is unconfirmed. We don't know, but we are piecing together. When it is on verdict watch, that is why I'm in the courtroom. I'm watching. Diddy's team was acting a fool. They were super, super upset. There was a lot of stuff going on. Listen, you guys, listen, I'm gonna have to continue this at my house. It looks like Jack Frost. Anyway, blessed child, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Listen, you guys, I have to get out of here because it is about to come down. But I'm gonna go home and we're gonna go live and go over everything. There's a lot of funny Diddy stories out today. Plus, I'm gonna be putting some other stories out too, because even if things slow down with Diddy, we still have other fun things, people we can talk about, drag and jury cases we can cover. All right, so let me get out of here. I'll talk to y'all later. See y'all soon. I will see y'all soon. Okay, bye.
I did not know that drug distribution don't have anything to do with selling the drugs, distributing drugs. You could be giving them away. I never knew that. If you give away the drugs, you still doing wrong. What? Jesus Christ. So there you go, right there. Not knowing the law doesn't excuse you from the law. Yeah. Wow. So that's one locked up. That's locked up. And I think juror 25 was probably thinking, Mr. Know-It-All. Well, he wasn't selling the drugs to the people. He was giving them away. So I don't think that's probably what happened with juror 25. And they going by the book. They saying, well, right here it says this. Nah, that's not right. You putting your opinion in it. You need to go by what this says. So they sent a note out to the judge. This is what I'm thinking. I'm just guessing at it, right? I wasn't there. They sent a note to the judge and said, well, let's ask him the question. Because there's 12 of us in here and you acting like you know it all. He wasn't selling the drugs. That don't make a difference. He was distributing the drugs. It's still distribution. Even though they wasn't paying for it, it's still distribution. Nah. He ain't no drug dealer because he wasn't selling them. That's all he was thinking about. So they sent a note out. They sent the note out to straighten that up and come find out. You don't have to buy them. He distributed them to everybody in the party. So that's against the law. He was distributing all kinds of drugs to people in the party. He had candy dishes of drugs laying around that you just pop them in the. Yeah, everybody's saying that. So that's a wrap. As far as I'm concerned, that's a straight up wrap. That's one. And then all the other ones you can just guess at. If they find two of them, you out of there, cuz. You might as well start working on your appeal. Look here, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. I'm gonna get on up out of here. God dang, young. Even the daggone, not freak off people. What you call them? The swingers. I'm a swinger. I'm at the point. They said, don't put that mess up on us. We are a nice organization. Everybody consents. Good God Almighty, boy. Y'all take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.